WCBI News at 6 starts now.
We begin with breaking news out of Clay County. Deputies find a wanted man this afternoon, and he could soon face charges.
Sheriff Eddie Scott says 18-year-old Kevin Perkins Jr. is in custody this evening. Deputies wanted to talk to Perkins about an ongoing investigation. Now, Scott is not releasing specifics about the case. Perkins is being processed tonight, and formal charges are expected to be filed tomorrow. We will continue to follow the story and bring you more as the information is released.
A longtime Lowndes County constable has passed away. Lowndes County Coroner Greg Merchant tells WCBI that District 1 Constable Willie Hoot West died this afternoon. West was injured in a single car crash Monday morning. He was taken to Baptist Golden Triangle but later transferred to Tupelo. Hoot West was first elected constable in 1967. He served Lowndes County District 1 for nearly 52 years and was set to retire this year at the end of his term. Hoot West was 83 years old.
Voters in Okolona will soon be heading back to the polls, this time to vote in a special election for the town marshal. Tommy Ivy Sr. is sitting in that position right now. Back in January, though, the Supreme Court issued a ruling saying that Democratic candidate William Randall's name should have been taken off the ballot. Ivy appealed that ruling. Today, the Supreme Court rejected the appeal, clearing the way for a special election. Governor Phil Bryant will have to call that special election.
Bond is set at $100,000 for the man accused of leading police on a high-speed chase through Tupelo and Verona. Christian Acosta is charged with felony fleeing and aggravated assault on a police officer with a vehicle. A state trooper tried to stop Acosta on Highway 278 yesterday afternoon. The pursuit ended on Palmetto Road when he allegedly rammed a MHP cruiser, causing it to hit an unmarked MHP car. Shots were fired at Acosta's truck. No one was injured. Acosta was quickly arrested. The Mississippi Bureau of Investigation is reviewing evidence from the incident.
A former UPS employee is accused of stealing 3 guns that were received at the Columbus terminal. 20-year-old Sharquez Cox of Columbus is charged with 3 counts of possession of a stolen firearm. Lowndes County deputies say the investigation started back on March 26th. A UPS representative reported the guns missing from the company's Industrial Park Road location where Cox was working part-time. Those guns were on the way to licensed dealers but never got there. Deputies stopped Cox on May 6th and reportedly found 2 of the stolen guns in his vehicle. Investigators found a 3rd gun at Cox's home on Pandora Drive. His bond was set at $45,000.
A scary scene in Lowndes County this afternoon. A car flips after losing control on Highway 69. The vehicle was going south when it left the road and overturned. Witnesses tell WCBI that the car flipped multiple times before landing in that ditch you see right there. The driver and passenger were complaining of pain. Traffic was stalled while crews worked to clear the scene. The Mississippi Highway Patrol is investigating that accident. Time now to turn our attention to weather, and meteorologist Jacob Riley joins us with a first look at our forecast.
Yeah, it's a gray and gloomy afternoon out there right now in downtown Louisville, Mississippi. Gray skies across the region. Currently sitting in the middle 60s, though. That rain today helped keep things cooler across the area. Most of that rain has pulled on off to our south and east, pushing on out of our area. Don't be fooled, though. Later on tonight into tomorrow morning, we're going to see another round of that heavy rainfall begin to move in. Overnight tonight, though, expect those temperatures to remain in the lower 60s. More rain tomorrow, Joey. I'll have more on that coming up just a little bit later in the show.
All right, thanks, Jacob. It's no secret that every dollar is being stretched when it comes to rebuilding after storms.
Mississippi is leading the nation when it comes to damaging tornadoes. Our Scott Martin joins us with a look at the pocket pinch it can put on state and local leaders.
Well, Joey and Andrea, our state is no stranger when it comes to seeing natural disasters, just like that February tornado that moved through Columbus and did a lot of damage, including damage to this home right here behind me. Now, due to the number of storms and due to major storms like Hurricane Katrina that many in this area remember, storms like that has forced FEMA to be more particular when it comes out to giving federal funds. It was only 5 years ago when the city of Louisville was darkened with its worst nightmare.
We lost our hospital. We lost 350 homes within our county, so it was a day of tremendous loss.
But it didn't take long for FEMA to step in. Winston County was declared a disaster area within 72 hours after the tornado.
It would only take one glance on the ground to see that the damage here was significant enough that we were going to have FEMA assistance in order to recover.
FEMA guidelines often change when we see large disasters like Hurricane Harvey destroying a city of millions. FEMA is forced to be more resourceful with funds.
As we see reductions in that immediately is going to put the burden back on local budgets, back on state budgets. Right now, not many local organizations have a disaster budget or a rainy day budget.
Only 5 months into 2019, Mississippi already leads the U.S. with the highest number of tornadoes. Damage that's not as catastrophic, but it's widespread through many counties.
It's unprecedented. We go back, we had really bad storms, but the number of storms we've had. So that changes the way that FEMA's having to look at the criteria.
The National Weather Service confirms that 75 tornadoes have touched down in the state so far this year. In just one day, the state beat its yearly average when 44 were confirmed during the April 18th outbreak. Now, with severe weather season still active and hurricane season around the corner, state and local leaders are planning ahead.
We have to be very resourceful in identifying resources that we can either provide or point counties or municipalities in the direction of.
Debris removal and housing are the biggest issues Mississippi faces. In Columbus, a lot of homes damaged were rental properties. Long-term housing isn't something that's readily available.
We have a Mississippi Disaster Grant Housing Program where we can help counties for short-term getting alternate housing.
Again, the problem is the lack of money that may be available. Since Mother Nature doesn't stop throwing punches, neither do our leaders.
We have to fight for every dollar that we can get for disaster grant assistance.
In part one of our series yesterday, we talked about public assistance and individual assistance. Now, we do know that individual assistance has been denied, but MEMA is still working on getting new numbers and more paperwork to turn over to FEMA, appealing that decision to deny the individual assistance. Now, coming up tomorrow, we're going to take a look at the volunteers who we are so thankful for and the impact that they're making in our communities. Reporting live in Columbus, Scott Martin, WCBI News.
In her maiden speech on the floor of the U.S. Senate, Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith calls for more action on federal disaster assistance. The Republican from Brookhaven talked about the February tornado and flooding in the Mississippi Delta. She says if the federal government had kept its promise, the Yazoo backwater area would not still be underwater, calling it bureaucratic red tape. Hyde-Smith stressed the need to approve emergency supplemental funding legislation for disaster recovery across the country.
I am especially grateful for their willingness to consider expanding the scope of the legislation to address the 2019 natural disasters. Federal assistance alone will not solve all the problems, and a long road to recovery lies ahead. However, disaster supplemental legislation will provide a very important first step.
President Trump declared a federal disaster area for the Delta flooding and Columbus tornado last month. Individual assistance was denied.
Well, heavy rain continues to wreak havoc in some parts of Mississippi, causing some emergency managers to be on high alert.
While crews are working to make repairs from recent floods, more rain in the forecast is causing a lot of concern. Our Stephanie Poole travels to Calhoun County today. She joins us live in the studio with more. Stephanie.
Calhoun County is dealing with damage from just this morning with area roads flooded and saturated grounds, causing trees to fall over. Calhoun County Emergency Manager Randy Skinner is urging folks to be prepared for the worst over the next few days. Rushing water is a common scene in Calhoun County. Parts of County Road 210 were underwater Thursday morning.
Be surprised how fast water will rise.
Emergency Management Director Randy Skinner spent the afternoon checking roads and on area residents. The last 3 homes along this road could potentially flood if the water rises.
Water rises faster than you can sometimes react to.
Skinner says high floodwaters are nothing to mess around with, and he's warning people to be on guard and don't wait until it's too late.
I call it a silent killer because you can't hear it and you don't know it, and before you know it, it's on you, and then you have nowhere to go.
The county is still trying to recover from previous flood damage that washed out roads and caused sinkholes. Skinner says now crews have to start back at square one.
The repairs that we've already done, they haven't quite set up yet. The ground hasn't had time to set up yet with all the precipitation we've had. So our fear is that the work that we've already accomplished may be compromised.
Back in February, floodwaters were so destructive it wiped out parts of County Road 200, causing a landslide and wiping out parts of County Road 210. As you can see, the road here comes to an abrupt stop.
The water was just too much for the county road to handle.
Skinner says he learned a lot from the last go-around. This time, he says, they're more equipped and ready to face Mother Nature head on.
We do have a surplus of sandbags. We do have boats that are on standby.
Skinner says they can't force anyone to evacuate. He's hopeful that whatever rain falls over the next few days will come in small doses and will not fall all at once, keeping the damage minimal.
All right, coming up, too many books. There's no such thing.
And we check out a book bonanza at an area school when we come back.
Reading can be a powerful tool, from street signs, social media, to a good old book. Words are all around us.
Yes, they
are. Teleprompters even.
Exactly. Our Riley Livingston takes a look at how a Pickens County school is trying to encourage students to continue reading. She joins us live in the studio with that story. Riley.
Readers are leaders, or at least that's what I've been told. A group of teachers is hoping to give students the chance to grow and enjoy the power of books.
I've been reading ever since I was 3.
School is winding down for third grader Kendarian Hill, and that means it's time to pack up the books and take a pause on learning. But for students at Aliceville Elementary School, this is just the beginning.
Well, in order to be very successful in life, you must read. I enjoy reading personally, so I want to give that same vibe to other children. Why not enjoy a book? Why not see yourself in books when you're reading?
Over 1,300 books were donated by the community, giving each student a chance to grow their collection.
A lot of these children don't have huge home libraries, so that was kind of the goal here, was to start their home libraries or grow them a little bit wider.
Many of the kids are already self-proclaimed bookworms, so these freebies are a welcome addition to their little libraries.
Happy. I like to read. I read a lot at the house.
I read a lot. I read at home, basically most of the time, and I read at school when I get a chance.
As summer approaches, teachers hope their students will take these books and continue to read.
I specifically thought, well, let's do it towards the end because I wanted them to go home with this high energy to read. So when they get home this summer, I want them to say, oh, okay, I have this book from school. I can also go to the library and get books. So I wanted to connect it from what they learn in school to their summer, and then also connect it to the next year.
Shannon Moore says it's important to show kids that reading is a good thing. In her classroom, she lets her students see her read to inspire them to do the same.
Well, flash flood watch has been issued. It is in effect for the counties in green here until 7 p.m. on Saturday. Coming up after the break, I'll let you know just how much rain we can see and just when that rain is moving out of our area. Stick with us.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with meteorologist Jacob Riley.
Well, it's a gray and gloomy afternoon out there across the region. Taking a look on our Alpha Insurance Skycam network, you can see nothing but gray skies across the entire area, and that's going to continue as we go into tomorrow. Earlier today, we did have this complex of storms roll on through our area. All of that has pulled on off to our south and east. As we go throughout the rest of your night tonight, though, we are going to begin to see some more of those showers and storms roll on in. We're currently in the middle 60s out there. We're really not going to change a whole lot tonight, getting down to maybe the lower 60s as sunrise approaches. approaches for your Friday morning. Another thing that we'll begin to see tomorrow morning are those showers continue to increase across the area. Taking a look at Futurecast here, you can see right around 3 a.m. on Friday, those showers begin to work their way back north through our area. As we continue throughout the rest of the morning hours here on Friday, looking right around 10 a.m., you can see some more heavier showers becoming more widespread across the region, going to bring us some more of that heavy rainfall, which is why we have that flash flood watch in effect. Friday night, though, those showers begin to taper off, kind of like what they did today. That's going to be the pattern over the next couple of days. And then late again Saturday night, we begin to see some more of those storms pop up across our area. For your Friday, we could see a strong storm or two out there. Not expecting a whole lot of severe weather out of this, but areas in the green here, that highlights the area that has the greatest chance of seeing some stronger winds as we go throughout the day on Friday. Tomorrow is going to be cooler, below average once again, thanks to all that rain, topping out here in the middle 70s across the region. Wouldn't be surprised if it was a little lower due to all that heavy rainfall we are expecting once again. Here's this low pressure system back over towards the Arklatex region. It's kind of stalling out over our area. That's why we've seen so much rain, and that's why we're going to continue to see it as we go throughout the rest of this weekend. That quickly lifts off to our north and east as we go into your Sunday. Sunday afternoon pulls on out of here, taking that rain with it. High pressure builds in from the west, bringing us some beautiful conditions as we head on into your Monday and Tuesday. We just got to get through this nasty stuff before we see that sunshine return. So before all is said and done with, I wouldn't be surprised if much of the area saw anywhere between 2 and 4 inches of rain. Some of us even seen closer upwards to 5. So definitely, if you do cross a flooded roadway, remember, turn around, don't drown. And speaking of rain, this weekend's so far this year, 56% of them in Columbus have seen rain, 67% of them in Tupelo have seen rain. So it's been wet, and it's going to continue to be wet over into this weekend as well. 7-day forecast, though, drying out as we head into the beginning of next week. We'll have more after the break.
WCBI Sports with Tom Ebel is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
The chase for the gold has come to its final stop for high school softball state championships, set to begin this weekend, but too bad Mother Nature cares little for sports on the diamond. The scene on the campus of Southern Miss, the site of the 1A, 3A, and 5A state championships that were supposed to begin today at 1:30, but not a single pitch was thrown. Rain delays postponing a lot of playoff matchups around the state of Mississippi. At Southern Miss, everything is done. All softball games postponed for today, meaning the game ones for 1A, 3A, and 5A will take place next week on Monday and Tuesday. The MHSAA and coaches deciding that would be the best route with the weather this weekend. At Mississippi State, though, the play is underway for 2A, 4A, and 6A. Enterprise winning game 1 of the 2A series against Philadelphia 8-4. The 4A series happening right now, Tisch County and Newton County. At last check, that game is 3-2 through 4 innings. We'll have highlights tonight at 10 on WCBI Sports. And then 6A later tonight, former New Hope Trojan Heidi Hill, the head coach of Brandon, leading the Bulldogs to its first ever state championship appearance, taking on DeSoto Central. Softball not the only sport impacted by the weather. High school baseball playoffs being shuffled around. Both 1A semifinals moved to Friday. Smithville and West Union and Stringer at Hamilton. Those games pushed to Friday. Stringer at Hamilton, that's game 2. That Stringer leading the series 1-0 after the win last night. Game 1 of Saltillo and Lafayette happening last night. Game 2 tomorrow. The Doors leading that series 1-0. And then 3A matchup with North Pontotoc and Boonville, as well as the 4A matchup with New Hope and Pontotoc. They are still a go for tonight. So some playoff baseball still happening. We'll have highlights from both of those matchups tonight at 10 as well on WCBI Sports. Beating the weather today, Ole Miss defeats Mississippi State in the first round of the SEC softball tournament 9-4. Abby Latham, the hero for the Rebels. A grand slam in the bottom of the 4th, propelling a comeback for Ole Miss. She would also break break a program record for RBIs in a season thanks to that grand slam. Mississippi State actually out hitting Ole Miss 12-4. Now they'll have to await their postseason destination come Sunday. Ole Miss linebacker Kevontae Ruggs has entered his name into the transfer portal. AL.com's Matt Zenitz is the first to report. Ruggs was suspended during the spring for an unspecified reason. Ruggs started 3 games as a freshman, recording 16 tackles for the Rebels. A pair of Vernon Bulldogs making the decision it's not time to hang up their bats just yet. Vernon's CJ Wise and Dalton Event signing the dotted line to continue their baseball careers with MUW. The future Owls saying that this is a testament to the work they've put in on the diamond each and every year.
It's something I've been working for a long time, and I'm just glad to see that all the hard work's paying off.
Couldn't ask for any better. You know, this is my dream growing up. You know, me and CJ, it's all we've talked about and worked for, and we're really excited.
It's an awesome thing to see because how much time and effort that they put into the game, and then for them to be able to, you know, to go to college and be able to continue their career after that, it's a really awesome thing. And there's not two more kids that are more deserving than these two guys.
That's it for sports. Last look at your weather is next.
Well, we've got rain, and rain from now until Sunday afternoon. Once we get to Sunday evening, though, that's when those showers begin to taper on off to our north and east. Sunshine returns for Monday, Tuesday. Get outside if you can. Enjoy those nicer conditions before things warm up again by the end of next week.
This guy has a 2-week-old and he's still standing upright. Look at him.
Yeah.
I'm making it somehow.
Fantastic. Congratulations again.
Absolutely. All right, thanks so much for joining us, everyone. Have a